Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the AniGains podcast. We are actually, all three of us are here this time. Mr. Noah Campbell has just returned from his travels. Noah, do you wanna take the floor? How are you, mate?
I'm all right. I'm to be honest with you, I'm crippled. I had legs today. I'm absolutely battered, but it's good to be back. I feel like I have not made a single guest episode. There's always been something that's gone on. I missed Derek. I missed Kyle. So hopefully everything's good now. But it was unreal. So I'll go through everything and I've got photos that I can show and all that. If anyone
Yeah,
actually,
man, whack it. Share your screen.
yeah. How have you been, Qais?
Same old, really. Same
Yeah.
old. I've actually had the last few days off the gym, funny enough. Just not really been progressing the way I'd like to. So AJ's just scheduled me a bit of a deload, but I suppose we'll get more onto that in the later topic in the podcast.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Cam?
Man, I've been good. Basically, I kind of touched upon my car in the last episode, and everything was cool. And training is like the best thing at the minute because everything's progressing lovely. I'm driving to the gym, white monster in hand, feeling good. Reverse into the spot, get out my car, and there's a certain aroma in the air. And I look underneath, and my car has pissed itself with oil and coolant. It's just pushed every fluid out the car. Is just on the floor, and we basically think the head gasket has gone, which basically means the car's, after fixing it, just me 3 days later the car is written off. So I am currently in the process of debating what I want for my next car.
Ooh.
I don't want to buy a new car, but I have to.
He's gonna steal one.
If my insurance company is watching, that's a joke. But I don't know. I'm like quite boring. I think I might just get like a Honda CRV. It's like a big Japanese 4x4, reliable. But then, if I'm being really stupid,
The thing is, if you're getting big cars aren't really good. If you're only gonna drive yourself, they're really rubbish for fuel normally. Like I'm one of them. I'm very about fuel efficiency and economy and all that, so I'm not wasting loads of money.
What car do you drive?
A Mercedes CLA AMG Sport, and that is
Yeah,
amazing.
really fuel efficient.
It is. It's about 70. Mate, it's about 70 miles per gallon.
The AMG Sport. What? 2.2 liter engine? Yeah.
2.1 liter. Yeah. It's because it's a diesel. It's very very fuel efficient. Is my car, but that's only if you don't put it in sport. Once you put it in sport, then all that goes out the window.
To be fair, the CRV, it's not awful. It's a diesel as well, 2.2 litre. The thing is where I live is fairly remote, and it's the thing is, realistically, it's I like driving to an extent, but Reese, for example, bro owns an M2 Comp. And when I stayed with him, we got to drive it fast once. There was one opportunity where we could send it. Other than that, bro was in average speed check zones, literally capped at 50 miles an hour. And I just thought, what's the fucking point? You're just paying more for a service. Get what you want, get whatever buys you happiness. But for myself, I think I'd rather have something where it's not going to fuck up. It's going to take me to the gym, and then I can save more money to go traveling, because that's what I value, That being said, I might get a Nissan 350Z because they are fun. So I've got the angel on one side, the logical side, and the devil being but imagine driving a 350Z pre-workout. I know that Danny Howarth actually has one. Shout out Danny if you're watching the AniGains podcast. I know you love your anime. Yeah, he's looking sick as well. So
Yeah, major.
Yeah. I think he's doing the Two Bros. It's Two Bros this week. It's next weekend, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
The Condition Cup. Based off fucking condition, he's in.
Very nice. All right, then. Should get into Noah's travels then.
Yeah, mate.
Right,
No, please.
hold on.
Let's
I
go.
will share screen. To be fair, I don't think I even really spoke to you boys that much whilst I was
No,
away.
you didn't. I intentionally didn't ask you questions because I wanted to ask you here.
Right.
I made one request when you were away, which we'll get into.
You did, and that did actually come through. Hold on. Is this... I can't even fucking see much. Hold on. How do I do this? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right, so it was basically the holiday was 2 weeks traveling. People that'll know me know that I love traveling about the place, and I had a plan to go interrailing which was going to be from Bulgaria up to Serbia, down to North Macedonia, across to Albania, then possibly going to Kosovo, then Montenegro, Croatia, coming across to Bosnia, then Italy, then back home. But I kind of thought that's a bit boring. And when I tried to actually piece it together, I realised it was going to be like 5 hours on a bus every single day, just trying to get from country to country, not really getting to enjoy it, not sleeping well at all. And country-wise, like, I wasn't really excited to go to any of them apart from Bosnia and Bulgaria. So I thought, you know what, I'll rethink the plan and see what I can do. I'd already booked the flight to Bulgaria, then from Bosnia to Italy and Italy to home. So I realised I've got a week and a half to find a plan from Bulgaria to get to Bosnia. And I ended up cooking up going from Bulgaria to Istanbul, doing 2 nights in Istanbul, then just doing a day trip in Egypt, going for the pyramids, coming
A
back to
day
Istanbul.
trip in Egypt.
Mate, it was
It's
genuinely,
nuts.
fuck it, we've got a day, let's go to the pyramids. So we had a day trip in Egypt, came back to Istanbul, because from Istanbul, you could fly to Sarajevo in Bosnia. So went from Bulgaria, Istanbul, Istanbul, Egypt, Egypt, Istanbul, Istanbul, Bosnia, and then Bosnia to Italy, Italy back home. And that was me the last 2 weeks. And I got home Wednesday. And I'll be honest, boys, I'm fucked. Absolutely knackered. It completely took it out of me. But, I mean, it was unreal. So I will go through it just now. I think if I go on this. So, like I say, the first stop was Bulgaria. I can't really see you guys on the screen, but I can see my Instagram, so I'll
Yep,
just rock with
we
that.
can
But
see it.
started off, the first place we went to, the day we landed, was the shooting range. We dropped in, and it was the middle of absolutely nowhere. Arse end of nowhere. I got picked up from some random guy and taken to this random shooting complex. We had messaged on WhatsApp and we arranged, I think it was like shooting type B. So we got to shoot pistols, a shotgun, 2 different ARs, and then we had 10 bullets of a sniper. Fucking
Yeah.
unreal.
Have you ever shot a gun before?
So my dad used to own guns, and we had them upstairs, and he used to always like show me because he used to go hunting, but I'd never shot before, so this was my first ever time. Mate, I was fucking awful. My chest was all, mate, I was bruised all up here from the kickback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
what's the recall like?
Oh, the recoil was fucking mental. So the worst one was the shotgun. This bit here,
Yeah.
because you're having to hold it up at the top here, and because you're trying to aim down the sight as well. I'd also left my glasses, so I was blind as a bat the whole holiday. But as you're trying to hold it like this, your hands just kind of moving up and down, and my shots were fucking awful. But with a sniper, I was all right. So that was us, hardcore posing, real hardcore.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
there,
guessing good then.
that arsehole's good at whatever he does.
He's
Winds me up.
good at everything, isn't he?
It's fucking annoying. Josh, if you listen to this, fuck you. But apart from that, it was beautiful. I had always wanted to go to Sofia for the cathedral. I'm not religious or anything, but this building is just stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. So went in there. One of the highlights of Bulgaria was the e-scooters. Now, we don't have e-scooters in Scotland. I know that they are in England. So it's like line bikes. Mate, whipping around Sofia, Milan on line bikes was incredible. Saw so much of the cities and just got to experience everything. So
they're pretty big in Europe, aren't they? Because I had one when I went to Prague. There were loads of them there, and I was just going around Prague in them. So there's quite a lot of European cities that have them.
We had never ridden one before. It's not that they're illegal, but they're like not really allowed in Scotland. I think there's like you can only use them on private roads or something. So the second we found them, like, right, zip around the place in this. And then the last day before we flew to Istanbul, we decided to go a hike in my nice shoes, which I had to throw away, but I'll get onto that. But we went up to this random waterfall, gorgeous, gorgeous view. You got to see over all of Sofia, and you've got lovely lovely Brandon there. But it was a stunning way to finish. Yeah, it was a really good way to finish.
What's so funny, Cam?
When Noah posted up those pictures, there's one of Brandon. It was on his private story. It's like captioned it like "We love being insulin resistant" or something. Got me so good.
No, that was the first place that we went there. Very good hike. We were fucked afterwards though. And to be fair, we were training at the same time, so we were training every like 2 to 3 days. We weren't too strict on making sure we got in for said set. Like, fuck it, we'll go in for an upper body, we'll go full body, lower day, just to make sure we weren't just atrophying for 2 weeks, eating whatever we fancied. But it was still good. And then next was Istanbul. So one thing that I think was one of the most insane things that we got to experience was the fact that Ramadan was obviously going on at the time that we were in these countries. A lot of them were obviously majority Muslim, being Turkey, Egypt, Bosnia. So being able to be there for iftar was mental. Like being able to see basically a lot of the buildings in Istanbul had speakers. So I want to say the imam, whenever the imam was speaking, I think it was like the fourth prayer, it was like saying, I think it was just to commence iftar so people could start breaking their fasts. And it was around about like 6 p.m. And we were at the Blue Mosque, which was like incredible. We all we went in.
That's very famous, that mosque, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. We barely spoke to each other. Like as soon as we were just kind of in awe, looking around. And there was this couple from Massachusetts that were asking away to one of the volunteers. So we were all sat there for a good 45 minutes, just listening to every word, trying to learn as much as we could about the religion, and it was really, really interesting. And it made you realize, like, we all felt, holy shit, this is mental, and we don't follow the religion. So imagine someone who does follow the religion, how mental it would be to visit somewhere like that, be able to pray there. It was mental. But Istanbul, obviously, we broke it up into 2 different trips. We went the first half. First half was much better. That was us on top of the rooftop. We had the Blue Mosque over here.
Some cultural appropriation there.
Yes, yeah, I hope I don't get cancelled for this. But we did get told, there was a wardrobe that it was like, it literally said fancy dress on it for your photos. So we took them, and one of the waiters just comes up, starts laughing at us, saying it's for women, these kind of hats. I'm not too sure what they're called. But again, it was a really cool experience. We went to a rooftop bar for dinner, being able to look over the mosques. And whenever it lit up at night time, all the lights they had, I'm not too sure it was in Arabic or it was in Turkish, sorry, saying there is only one God and God himself. I couldn't tell you what it translated to, but it was really cool to be able to see that. And again, there was like this big pillar with hieroglyphics, and it was the day before we went to Egypt, so that was quite cool. Yeah, so there was like different ones saying different signs that were all lit up. But Istanbul was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. We were haggling our way to get some cheaper football tops. Josh ended up walking away with that. Inter Milan. I got an R9 from 2002 World Cup. If you know, you know.
Nice.
And
very nice.
What did Brandon get? I can't remember. But the guy was a fanny. That was like proper strict. Like I'm not gonna let your money come down. And if you know Josh is very stubborn. I'm sure he won't mind me saying Josh is a stubborn motherfucker. So him trying to haggle, we were there for 45 minutes over like £4. Over about £4. Me and Brandon had already paid our way. We're like, right, we're going outside. He just wasn't having it. He's like, I'm just going to walk out and not buy it. And then realised the guy didn't give a fuck. So we had to walk back in, came back out with this bag, just like, I've paid the money. So he wasn't too happy. But we then had a flight. It was like midnight or like 11 o'clock to Egypt, which is very fun. I've never been to Africa before. There's the R9 top actually. But I've never been to
Nice.
Africa before. Fuck me, it was mental. We were only there for 24 hours, but a good amount happened in that 24 hours. And I'm gonna try and be as nice as I can. We were staying in a fucking shithole. We were in the in the taxi. The guy was telling us. So basically, we were staying in Giza because we're like, right, we just want to see the pyramids and then we'll fuck off. We found out that Giza is the dumps. So we pull up and I mean the Airbnb is gorgeous. I'll see if I can. Did I post a video of it or was it just on my story? No, I didn't post a video of it, but we basically had a stunning apartment. I was in a hot tub jacuzzi at midnight with the pyramids behind us. You can see them right there. You could see the view. It was mental. But the area that we were staying was so, like, you just, everywhere was pestering, following you, trying to get your money, bang, 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 bang in your face. And I had told the boys, like, you need...
Egypt was like that for me as well when I went in Sharm el Sheikh. I think it's like a
in
cultural
Sharm el
thing
Sheikh
where
as
people
well?
are quite... Yes. Yes. People are like proper harass you there, like trying to sell you stuff all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was otherworldly. Like I expected it to some degree, but fuck me. Literally the second we come out the apartment, they've just seen white boys and they're like straight to us. So that was mental. We didn't get any jags or anything like to protect us from the mosquitoes. So Josh decides, I'm very much like if I hear something, I will get very anxious about it. So Josh decides to go, dengue fever and hepatitis and AIDS are really present in mosquitoes these days. Did we get our vaccines? And he knew fine well that we didn't. So he was like, oh, we need to cover up then. We went in our bedroom, mosquitoes everywhere. So we're whacking for about 10-15 minutes trying to clark these big mosquitoes out our way. I've went to bed in Egypt wearing a sweatshirt, a beanie, shorts. I've like wrapped myself up into like a little coffin and I've hid myself under the covers the whole night. Woke up just in a puddle of sweat because I'm like, I am not getting stung by a mosquito. It was horrible feeling, but we got there. We did some quad biking first and foremost. We booked that. That was only like a tenner, which was pretty decent. I did crash into Brandon, and Brandon's legs like completely burnt now. But it was really sick. So they were like so rickety. These quad bikes. I've went right into the back of him, and his ankles moved forward, and it's burnt on the engine. Genuinely, for like the next couple days, it was like bubbling. It was awful burns. But we manned up and got a photo taken there. But then the pyramids. I've got a right fucking gripe with this man. If we can clip this if you want to. Mohammed, if you're I know you love anime. I know you love the AniGains podcast. Mohammed, this is for you. You're a fucking arsehole, right? So
Out of context, that is a crazy statement. That is an absolutely crazy statement.
I was just about to say that.
So I told the boys, you need to like, oh my god. So I told them, boys, there's gonna be people that will dress up. There's literally fake police officers. There's fake everything to try and get your money. Don't talk to anyone. Walk ahead. Ignore it. I couldn't have made it clearer. Ignore everyone, right? So we go through. Instantly, one person comes up to us. Excuse me. I'm standing at the front, so I'm just like head cocked forward. Zoof. I'm only looking in front of me. All of a sudden, you can hear him like calling, hey, come back. So all of a sudden, I can hear him go, I'm from the government. And Josh Campbell goes, oh, and instantly just goes, oh, sure. So instantly goes to talk to him. And then he goes, what's wrong with you? Because I walked away and my face was just like, I know, I was like, fucking, why have you started a conversation with this man? All of a sudden, he's like, show me your tickets. And then pulls up his lanyard. He's like, I'm from the government, see? All of a sudden, He takes the tickets off everyone, walks us over to this camel, and he's like, I just want to make sure you don't get scammed. I just want to make sure you don't get scammed. So, takes us up to these camels, and we're stood there, and all of a sudden he goes, this is my friend. You want to ride camel? Let's try on a camel. And I turned to Brandon, and I said, he's fucking scamming us. And all of a sudden, he's like, what was that? What did you say? And I was just like, the tombs over there are crazy. He goes, oh, yes, the tombs are really... He knew fine well what I said. And all of a sudden, we've been papped on these fucking camels. And instantly, oh, well, you owe money for the camels to the camel man. And we're like, fucking no. Like, we don't want to pay for these camels. Like, how much? He goes, oh, you have to pay, like, I think it was 50 or 60 pounds. And we're like, no, we're not paying that much. We get told by our guy who took us with the ATVs that you only have to pay like 10, 15. And he goes, no, don't believe him. He's trying to take your money. You pay us like 50, 60. Well, this guy's fucking at it. So of course we're on the camels. There's nothing we can really do at this point. Me and Josh had cash. Brandon didn't. We pay him, I think it was like 30 pounds worth of Egyptian, just to make him shut up and deal with it. We said, Brandon, we can get money out later and we can do that. Sound. So we go on these camels, and honestly, it's such a shame. I'd always wanted to go on a camel around the pyramids, but like they hated it. Like, they were cut open. They were like making the most mental noises from being dehydrated. And camels like bring up their intestines and like the organs to try and cool them down, and you could just see Josh's camel is just going, and it's like organs are coming out his mouth and going back. It was fucking horrible. But rode these camels round the pyramids, obviously got to see the pyramid, and this was the beginning of the trend, Cam. So I made a joke. I made a little joke saying, oh, someone had a men's physique front shot in front of these pyramids. So obviously you've got Brandon, who's went and ended up taking the photo. And that's where it all began. And we'll get into that, obviously, for Italy. But the pyramids were mental. They were really, really cool. But at the end, Mohammed was like, right, okay, now I'm going to show you the Papyrus Museum, okay? This is where the paper was made in the Egyptian times. You're going to love it, right? Really and truly, it was only because they had a working card machine. He said, your entry ticket to the pyramids includes this museum. The museum was genuinely a 15, 20-minute walk away. He was just talking out his arse, but because he's pals with the owners, he's like, I'll just use their sum up machine to get this money off of him. Then we'll go. We go and he's like, right, okay, you've paid for the camel, now you pay for Muhammad. We're just sat like, this is a fucking joke. He goes, some American people pay $200. Was I not good to you? Was I not good? So we ended up talking him down to £20. So for everything, it was 50 quid. Shafted a bit, but it wasn't awful, but we could have done it for free. But the pyramids were like incredible. Qais, did you go to the pyramids when you went?
No, we just stayed in Sharm el Sheikh, so I've never been.
It was very cool to see them. But yeah, I've done it now. I'm not going back. I am not going back. I did want to go to Sharm el Sheikh though. Everywhere we spoke to someone, they were like, "Yeah, Sharm el Sheikh's really nice."
It's cool. It's obviously it's a beach area. It's got a good sea. You can do like water sports and all that there. But the only thing is, it's just you can't relax because everywhere you walk, you're just getting harassed and trying to be sold stuff. So it's kind of like, I won't go there again. Definitely won't go there again. And actually, I've got a not so fun story about Sharm el Sheikh. So I went with my parents and we went paragliding. Yeah, paragliding. So basically I went up, all fine, no worries, it was fine. And then my parents went up together and then it started to get a little bit windy. So they go up and I could see immediately they're just going all over the place, side to side, and that's not good. You want to be relatively in the center. And I saw like they were literally like they went that far across and down, they were like nearly touched the water on the other side. And then luckily they were all right. And then what happened is the engine of the boat like malfunctioned, and once that's happening, there's no air going into
Yeah.
the sail. So they literally go down into the water, plummet. My mum's like having like a panic attack because she's not a strong swimmer underwater. She's being dragged
Yeah.
along by the boat or while she's underwater. My dad was all
Fucking
right,
hell.
and then eventually, and then they've got like lifeguards on the boat. Literally did nothing. They were like standing there for about a minute or two, did nothing. I was like, well, it's your job. You got to go in and get them. And so eventually they did. But yeah, that wasn't fun. And then after that, we complained, obviously expecting a refund. And they didn't even give us it. They didn't give us a refund for it.
Yeah.
So that's a bad memory. Bad memory of that place. So I'll never go again.
Nah, they're at it. They're at it there.
Yeah.
But this was my camel. I think they called her Michaela. I can't remember, but trusty Michaela, we'll call her. What a woman. She served me well. And you can see the Sphinx back there as well. Yeah, Egypt was certainly something. It has made me want to go to more parts of Africa though. My friend's from Zimbabwe, so I really want to go to. Have you seen Victoria Falls? I really want to go there. I think that'd be quite cool. After this, we went back to Turkey, back to Istanbul. We went to Ortaköy for a day, which was fun. We ended up meeting we went to a shisha bar, and we met some guy called Ahmed, who was actually from Egypt. And we got some, like, I think it was Egyptian tobacco that was in the shisha. And the guy was lovely. He was fasting for Ramadan, and he kept coming over and being like, obviously Ramadan, the hardest thing for me isn't the food, it isn't the drink, it's the shisha, because you have to give up like your temptations and no smoking. Am I right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the whole he kept coming over every like 15-20 minutes. He goes, "You guys can't smoke, right? As soon as iftar happens, I'm gonna come up and I'll have a smoke with you." Iftar happens, and he just
That's
honestly, he just comes up and starts ripping the absolute arse out of this shisha. Put us all to shame. Put us all to shame. We were there for about 3-4 hours. But the guy was lovely, absolutely lovely. Ahmed, if you see this Ahmed, you're some man, very much likeable. Go to the shisha bar in Ortaköy. But no, very, very cool. And then after that, Bosnia. Where's Bosnia? There we are. That's me and the goats. Me, Cam and Kes, mate. That's us. But one of possibly the most underrated place, definitely the most beautiful place I've ever been, without a doubt. The land structure was gorgeous. So we landed in Sarajevo. I think there'll be a video of our view from Sarajevo. Please bear with me, lads. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is fucking awful. Maybe I've not got it. But you'll have seen on my story, the view was incredible going across. You had all the landscape, all the houses up in the mountains, lit up at night as well. It was stunning. So we did a bit of time in Sarajevo, and then we decided to go to Mostar, which was slightly further away. It's closer to the Croatian border. And Mostar was incredible. Have you guys seen the Red Bull jumps?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is where they do them. It is right off of this bridge here at night. So that was it at night time. So that was 24 feet up up off the ground. So Red Bull put another 3 foot up, and people jump off 27 feet. We booked this Airbnb the night before we went. Probably the best view that you could get in Mostar, and it only cost like £24 a night. It was mental.
Insane. Yeah.
So the view there was incredible. And we went to Kravica, and we saw the MILFs, I think I can call them, the lovely mothers of Croatia and Bosnia. So at this waterfall, I think it's, did I show the waterfall video? Is that past? Here it is. This waterfall was about an hour from Mostar, and it was insane. Obviously it was freezing cold at this point because it was Baltic during the day anyway. Went in and we decided to go for a dip. Took my hair bobble out, decided to go for try and get myself wet, and all the mothers were absolutely loving it. Kept calling me Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Take a photo, Jesus. So I think it was. They were taking photos of the waterfall, and I was in the background. And then I think it was one of the women came running up first. Oh, hold on, Sarajevo. Sorry, first of all, we got drug searched at Sarajevo airport. So we got our suitcases pulled over at nothing to declare. We had drug sniffer dogs come out. Very rogue. Can you see this? Yeah? Is this popping up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So this man here, right, actually got 140,000 followers on TikTok. Genuinely, like, so he posts and he's like a dog handler, posts everything like that. 140,000 followers on TikTok. Lovely man. Got him on Instagram. If you're watching this, I want to say Golden Eye or Golden something. You're a top geezer. And he let us away with it. He didn't really understand the having glutathione going through an airport. But they're all like, oh, we were trying to explain that we do bodybuilding, and they're like, where's the muscle then? Where's the muscle? So that wasn't very nice of them. But we had to show photos and then like, oh, fuck it, just go. But the mothers loved it. The water's fucking Baltic. We had some nice pasta dinners, some nice beers, and we went to a zoo as well in Sarajevo. We went to a bobsled track. So sorry, I think am I talking too long, or is this like
No, bro, you're cool.
Ah,
You're cool.
carry on, man.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So there was a Olympics, I think it was 84. There was an Olympics in Sarajevo, so that was at the top of this like big cable car up to the roof, all the way to the top, and you got to walk down 1.5 kilometers of the bobsleigh track, which was all being graffitied. It was really cool to do, and then just walk the full way down. And then so whenever we're in Mostar, obviously there was the war in Sarajevo, in Bosnia, to be fair. Only 30 years ago, Bosnia was part of Yugoslavia. And whenever they went independent, the Serbians decided to invade. So we went to this war museum in Mostar. And if you go through Mostar, you go through Sarajevo, you can still see bullet holes in all the buildings from the war being so recent. And it was something that was really like, it was emotional. Like, you go in and there was photos of, if I can get them up, I'm trying to be very careful of what my camera roll is. Hold on, that was us back in, where is it? Holy fuck. I've taken way too
We
many
can always
photos.
center or blur anything that we need to.
Yeah.
Like,
So it was like,
I'm not blurring
photos
anything.
of Reggie plates, and there was like stories about like young boys playing football, and then like the bombs go off, and it was proper.
Cam's favourite, young boys.
Yeah,
Bro.
loves it, man.
not catching us stray over the war torn.
But there was one bit especially. I don't think I got a photo of it. But it was basically, there was a phone that you could pick up, and it would play back audio and like stories that people are recounting on the phone and messages that they're leaving. And it had all these stories about people that have like lost their kids, lost their wife. They may have survived the torture chambers, and genuinely, like, we all left, and it made the whole town or the city of Mostar a completely different feel. Like, we did that just before we left. It felt so much more morbid, and you think about it, like, your dads would have been fighting in that if they're that age. And it was proper, like, it was just eye opening, to be fair, and it was very different to what we had been doing at other places. So it was good to be able to understand a bit more about the city. But yeah, I think Bosnia is probably the prettiest place and the most beautiful place I've ever been. So if you've not been, go. And then, yeah, Cam's so MP, bro. But we then went to Milan. I had been to Milan the year before, But we had been going to finish up the trip because we knew that we could get cheap flights from Bosnia to Milan, and then I knew that you could go direct back from Milan to Edinburgh. But we had a couple of the boys meet us there, so we had Leo and Lewis catch up with us, which was a really nice way to end the holiday. We went to Lake Como, dived in. I was out straight after this. Don't be fooled. I wasn't, this is not an aura photo. I was fucking shaking like a baby right afterwards doing that. So this was not aura. But Milan's stunning. So we went up the Duomo, up to the very, very top. There's Leo and Lewis there. But yeah, Lake Como was gorgeous. The views over everything. This was like right next to the Swiss border, which was cool. We rented a car, so Josh drove us the full way. So we pretty much ended with like a road trip. I'm hoping this is playing okay, so you can take it in. But the thing is, photos will never do this justice. Like, it was so stunning. And there you go. There's the line bikes fucking everywhere. Very helpful dotting about, but place was lovely. And this began MP, bro. So MP. We'd obviously spoken, Cam, about hitting the MP after it was on my story.
Right.
So I'm hoping I'm one of the first people to ever hit a front shot in front of the Duomo. It was definitely an MP kind of holiday in Italy. And obviously finishing it up, trying to take the angle here. Couldn't not whenever we've got the lineup looking like that. No,
you definitely win that shot,
was,
Noah.
Yeah, fuck it, man. Italy was lovely. The holiday in general was fucking unreal. To be fair, 2 weeks went in an instant, but because we did something literally every single day, it made the holiday feel long during it. So the shooting felt like last month, but the holiday in general just flew by. We kept ourselves busy, ate loads of fucking ice cream, and didn't gain that much weight. So I was very happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got me ready for my next travels, to be fair. I've already got a few places like in mind that I'd like to go that are maybe a bit more abstract. So yeah, very excited, but that'll be the last of my travels for a little bit, I think, because I need to chill the fuck out with them. But that was the 2 weeks wrapped up, to be fair.
Question.
Very nice.
Everywhere you went to, on your 2 week excursion, if you had to pick only one place to return to, where would it be and why?
Bosnia.
I was going to say Bosnia was the one that looked like the most mega.
If the stories will load, I will definitely go to Bosnia. It was incredible the whole time. I'll have my close friends in this as well. But you get a little look into my close friends, AniGains chat. I don't know if it's even loading. There you go. But there was the Mr. pulling us over for creatine. That way I went to the zoo, obviously. But in general, just everything was stunning. There was the view. That was the view from our first Airbnb in Sarajevo. Gorgeous. Even the people there were really, really kind. English wasn't great in terms of communication with them, but they went their way to try and make sure that they can understand you. Everywhere you went, like in Turkey, you definitely felt like a little bit more. Some places they didn't really like us being there. Like there's a couple gyms that are a gym, McFit, fuck you, arseholes in there. In terms of acceptance and just enjoyment of the place, definitely Bosnia. And you can use it to go to so many other places as well. Like if you want to go to Croatia, Dubrovnik is right next to Mostar pretty much. It's like really near the border. So it's very easy to go from there to there. There you go. The Bosnians loving the dad bods. But in terms of one country, it's definitely Bosnia, mate. I think that's the one. But that is everything. I'll stop sharing my screen because I think people will be sick of my voice now. But that was the last 2 weeks for me. Yeah, even though it was like not really training, I've come back a lot more fatigued, just from the travel non-stop, but it was worth it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, you don't look like I remember you threw up like a most recent story, and like considering that like you were sort of like training sort of as and when you're incredibly out of routine, like you don't look fucking bad at all. Like if anything, like I said this to you earlier, like this is probably like the best off-season look I've seen from you, and I think a lot of people like, especially within the world of bodybuilding, they think that like they can't go away or like they try and be overly restrictive when they're on holiday. If anything,
Yeah.
I just think you just end up like sacrificing your overall enjoyment of the holiday, and then really for fucking what, like, because the plan for you right now is basically just to like form back into routine, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Like when it comes to 2 weeks away, obviously I didn't want to rip the piss and not do anything, so we still made sure we trained. I brought my supplements with me, to be fair. Like, even though that did end up causing problems at the borders, I brought sups with me. We still trained. Every now and then we even cooked in our Airbnbs where we had kitchens, so there was meals where I cooked the boys chicken and pasta, Josh cooked chicken and pasta, and we just had nice like meals in. If we went out for food, we made sure there was some sort of protein. I'd say Italy, we probably took the piss a little bit in terms of the amount of ice cream we scanned. But apart from that, like it was well thought out, and we didn't just binge for the sake of binging. Like we actually watched what we're eating, which is why like I was up a tiny bit of weight. The other boys were down. It was pretty easy to manage, and it just means that next time I go away for an extended period of time, it's gonna be a whole lot easier to manage. And people overthink it for sure.
oh yeah, for sure. I feel like if you were to do the latter, like say binge for the sake of binging, like imagine like getting on a plane being full as fuck, like not actually being able to digest anything, and now you have to go do a bunch of activities in a different country. Like you fucking hate it. You want to feel good whilst you're away,
Yeah,
and it really is that simple. Like you do all of those habits not because you feel obligated to. Like training is fun. Like to train with like Josh and whatever, like that's cool. And Brandon, like that'd be sick. Training in a new gym, eating like like new exciting food, like that's all fun. Just yeah, I think I really want to get it out of people's heads that you have to be fucking like you're acting like you're peaking for a show every day when you're on holiday. Like no, like just enjoy your time away.
Wicked
Yeah,
then. Should we get on to the next topic then?
go for it.
yeah, yeah, man. Kez, do you want to lead the way?
I shall lead the way. Right then. So, we were having a discussion off the podcast, and this was about, well, it's more of a bodybuilding orientated topic, and it's about whether being natural is the best course for everyone or whether being assisted is the best course. And yeah, what factors to weigh in to make that decision with regards to like what side of the coin you want to, I suppose, pursue with regards to your bodybuilding journey. So I don't know well, maybe I'll share my journey first in terms of how I've gone through the sport and like the considerations that I've had. So I've always like, when I started, I was like, okay, I'm natural, like that's fine, I'll just pursue the natural thing. And then when you see results and you see, okay, I've got some decent potential here, and then I've got people telling me, yeah, you'll do well, you'll win a pro card if you jump on gear. Like that's what people were telling me after my first season. So that's when the temptation really like kind of was at its highest, I would say, for me. But for me, it's one of them, like I'm very health conscious, so I always saw steroids bad for your health, you're gonna die, you're gonna have a heart attack, and that's kind of always been the way I've thought about it, even if that's maybe not the case. And I love natural bodybuilding as well. Like I love seeing how far I can push my physique within the natural game, and I love the community as well. I've made some really good friends here. Obviously my coach AJ, he's Mr. Natural, I suppose. So yeah, kind of like I've built my name up in the natural ranks, and I've been, I suppose, somewhat successful in the competitive side of things, and I've still been able to progress my physique and make improvements every single time. Let's just say more recently, throughout the last prep, I've had a number of issues, let's say, on a health perspective. So I was fainting quite a bit on the last prep. I was sort of on the verge of vomiting about once a week, which wasn't ideal. I honestly still don't know the reasons for all that. And I got very, very ill towards the end of my prep. So I got tonsillitis, which kind of made me not at my best for my last show, which was the WNBF Supernaturals, and I was pretty ill for a month after that. So that wasn't ideal. And I was like, okay, now I've finished my prep. It's going to be all right. I'm going to go into surplus. I'm going to put some weight, body fat, and training's going to be fine. And honestly, it's not quite been the case. Maybe later on a later date when I'm sure of what's going on, I'll go into more detail. But let's just say, like, from a training perspective, it hasn't been, especially as of late, the most progressive the way it normally has been after a prep in the past. Hormonally, I don't think I'm all the way there in terms of recovered, even though we're like 6 months or so post show. And yeah, I just don't feel like myself. And I don't, honestly speaking, my off season isn't going as well as like I'd want it to be. Like, I know to get to the level I want to be, I need to make improvements. Now, I'm not saying, oh, this is because I'm natural and my test levels have crashed or anything, but this is maybe for me, maybe for other people, this is a consideration saying, okay, like, if you are going to, like, diet yourself without assistance and you're just gonna, your test levels are gonna go up and down, maybe is that the best thing for you? I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it isn't, by the way. Like, for me, I would always encourage people to be natural for as long as they possibly can. Like, in terms of, like, you've maximized everything else. So you've got your training in a good spot, your nutrition, your recovery, and you've done it for a few years before you make that decision. I think more people take gear that shouldn't, in my opinion, like, that just haven't maximized everything else. They see it as a shortcut to get results. And I think there's more people in that boat rather than people maybe that aren't on gear that should. And I'm not even saying people should, because it's a personal decision. From my perspective, if you're going to do it for health reasons, if you want to, like, be more energetic, feel healthier, like, I'm all for that if you want to do that. But if you're going to use it for a competitive purpose and you want to push the boat, in my opinion, you should have had enough time in the sport to realize, okay, I have potential to be a high-level athlete, as in an IFBB pro, and a good pro at that. If I didn't think that, I would never do it. Like, I would never jump on for competitive purposes. I'd never do it just to be the jack guy in the gym or just do half decent at a local show. And I think it's such a big decision to make in your life, and it is going to impact the rest of your life, that there needs to be a good reason for it, really. All right, if you have a physique where you're going to monetize that physique, say if you're an influencer and you jacked like Simeon Panda, even though he's natural, by the way, someone like that, then obviously it might be a good decision to do so, because you're going to make money off your physique. But for the most people, you need to spend a decent amount of time in the sport doing everything else first before you are going to make that decision. I'm still on the natural fence for me, but I can see why people do go down that route. I'm a competitor. I want to win. I know how it is. And to get to the top level of the sport, for most people, they are going to go down that route. And the people who are at the top level, they have done it for years. They are maximizing everything else. And obviously on top of that, the assistance will help them to get to that. So I respect it. I respect it, man. So yeah, so just there's a lot to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one thing that, like you said, which is to like sort of touch upon that it's regardless whether you take gear or not or whatever, like what you need to do for yourself is relative, right? Let's even talk about let's go back, let's talk about the natural side of things. Now, I know multiple different natural athletes that have competed this year, and the recovery process for all of them has been different. One guy in particular, you guys know Jack Love Jones?
Yeah.
He's one of Zach's clients. He won a natural two-bro show, and then hormonally, following, I think it's like less than a month, he was sound. Like, legitimately, no sort of health complications, no nothing. Yeah, bro got back to it pretty much immediately. And I know a lot of guys, I know a lot more girls especially, that are not like that, at all. It's so individual, case by case. And I think what's important to establish is, whether you're natural or whether you're enhanced, prep at getting to a competitive body fat percentage, so very, very low for an extended period of time, is not healthy regardless of which way you cut it, and different things are going to go for different people. I don't mind even saying for myself, I can recover pretty well. I'm quite fortunate to have decent genetics. I can recover from my body can take a lot of stress, and I basically had started dieting from the big fat boy 240. I'd started dieting from that in October. So you think October, and the prep ended October the following year, right? My T4 And like my overall TSH, my thyroid function, for anybody that doesn't know, your thyroid gland is basically what actually helps you, like, say, monitor, break down, and uptake food. That just didn't work. So anytime like I would put anything within my body, it would just be stored as like an additional like glycogen within the skin. Like, and that was super hard for me, like, you know, because you've gone from like looking your absolute best to now looking like a bag of milk. And like, what? Because you're eating a normal amount of food. Like, I'm not a small person. I'm like over 6 foot dude. Like, you know, I should be able to eat more than 2,500 calories and not balloon. You know, so that was like incredibly hard. And it's like, again, you know, we think like to now, like me and Qais both competed last year, and it's one of them where it's like now, like, I'm sound, but he's not. And that's not a case of like we've really managed anything different. It's individual. It's person to person.
I think, well, with me, my body responds quite a lot to, like, let's just say stresses. So anything out of the ordinary, like, I will hold water for like quite easily on a peak week. If anything out of the ordinary happens, if I travel, anything like that, I will put on a decent amount of water weight. So my body is quite, let's just say, fragile with that sort of thing, with prepping and different things happening. And I would say the only thing for me is this year it's been amazing, but it's been the most stressful year of my life by far.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
was
in
gonna
terms of
say,
the
like,
workload,
yeah,
yeah.
like in terms of post prep, like everything's blown up.
Yeah. I mean, even during prep, like, the thing is,
Yeah.
obviously, I was having my health issues during prep, and the hypothesis really that we've having is a lot of it is because of stress. It's been amazing, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but I have been doing basically 2 full-time jobs, traveling a lot every single day, doing maybe 80-hour weeks every single week, traveling up and down to shows whilst prepping myself, and it's probably taken a toll on me. I don't regret it because it's gotten me to where I am,
Yeah.
but it has taken a massive toll on me, and then obviously now I'm getting really busy and being super busy with work, which I'm really, really grateful for. But I think maybe all the stress and everything, and obviously, like, even like whilst I was going through this, I was like stressing about my own process. Am I going to get my pro card? Am I going to win? But I'm going to be thinking, okay, is the posing, is it going to work out? The business. Like, I always question that, and thankfully I'm in a position now where I'm more confident of that. But last year I was like, I need to put everything into this to make sure it works whilst I was going through a prep. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I work really hard. Like, I'm it's something I pride myself on, is my ability to work hard. But
Yeah.
whilst doing that, I think I think my cortisol and my last bloods were massively, massively elevated, which is maybe partially responsible for other things being out of whack. So I think it's just worth, like, learn from me. Learn from me. Like, if you feel like you're in a position where you're chronically stressed, like, maybe assess what you're doing in your life, and, like, okay, what you want to get out of life, and you should be focusing on those things rather than like trying to juggle a million different plates at a time when all them plates might not be the best thing for you or making you happy. And that's what the situation that I was in. I'm definitely getting better now with that, but yeah, it's just been an absolutely chaotic year in a good and a bad way. Obviously, like, you boys know, like, I had personal things happen at the beginning of last year as well, which weren't amazing, which was quite stressful and sad for me, which obviously didn't help. But yeah, overall, I'm not going to complain, but maybe that's another thing to consider as well, where you are from a life perspective. Have you got a stable life?
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
got good relationships with people, or are you in a really stressful environment? And that's another consideration for prepping as well. Are you in the best environment to prep? If you're in a situation where there's no stability there, then maybe it's not the best time to prep.
Yeah, man. I think that's definitely, it goes regardless for whether you do a prep natural or especially enhanced. Like, I would never, and it is fucking common, especially with younger guys, to not have all your ducks in a row. So like, you've got other shit going on in your life, and then you're jumping on PDs, which already exasperate everything 10 times. You know, like, the body under, say, stress or excitement or whatever is massively inflated when you then start putting drugs into the equation. The financial side of things as well, like, an enhanced prep is going to be more expensive if you're going to do things properly, which you should do if this is in regards to health. you may feel fine, but your blood work may say a very, very different story, and vice versa. It's so, so relative. There is absolutely no way I would ever recommend PDs to anybody who doesn't, regardless of what you want to do in the sport, regardless of if you want to influence, if you want to be the jack guy in the gym, make sure you've got a level of stability there before you then start fucking around with like your hormones and your health and your money, because once you cross that bridge, it's going to be very hard to go back, like straight up.
Definitely, man. Cool. That was a very, very good topic to discuss, that, because I think a lot of people just jump the boat really with that sort of thing, and don't get me wrong, these influencers, it's cool, like Sam Sulek and Trend Twins and everything, but it very much glamorizes that. And like, I'm not saying they're responsible, because everyone's responsible for their own decisions, but people see these influencers like, I want to get jacked like that, I'm going to take gear. And it's like, yeah, you might take what they take. You're not going to look like them. Like, you're not.
Yeah.
Part of it is hard work, obviously steroids, nutrition, but genetics as well. Most people aren't going to look like Sam Sulek, let's just face it, even if they take gear.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the performance enhancing drugs, if you're already not doing everything you need to be to actually perform, then it's bad, which is, it almost feeds into like a separate topic. Like, I heard somebody the other day say, I wish we had more fake naturals within the scene, because everybody is so transparent and open about gear use now that it's been normalized. And then, like, you've got fucking 17-year-olds saying, well, I might go get my bloods done, I might go see if I need a cycle or whatever. And it's like, I remember like when I was coming up through the scene, like watching Natty or Nots, and like, and there would be like these influencers. Like, I remember Anthony Mantello. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He's still about, to be fair, but I remember he was like a year younger than me, and he in crazy men's physique guy. And I like was debating to myself, like, is he natural? Is he not? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna work just as hard as what he's doing. Like, I'm gonna push myself that hard. And like, don't get me wrong, if we both competed as juniors, he probably would have smoked me. But I stayed natural for a long. If he would have just came out at the age of fucking, I don't know, 17, 18, and been like, yeah, like I'm using SARMs, peptides, I'm taking like a base layer of like test and using Clen, I would have just thought, oh, well, fuck it, I'm going to do that too. Because he looks the way he does, and it was the whole not addressing that side of things, not normalizing it, keeping it in the dark, hidden, actually just showing and doing the sport, that it pushed that performance from myself. I'm not saying that people should lie to their audience. I'm just saying there is
it's just you don't
transparency with
steroids. You don't have to go into detail about what you're taking. Okay, if someone says, "Are you natural? Are you not?" you can just say, "Okay, no, I'm not natural," and leave it at that. Yeah. You don't need to go into detail about what you're taking.
I think, and even then, like, who the fuck cares? Like, if somebody is or isn't natural, like, what do you think? Do you think you could look better than them naturally or not? It doesn't matter, like, aim to be the best version of yourself regardless. Like, I don't understand why everybody's so needing to get involved in another person's business. Like, it doesn't, like, if Sam Sulek came out and said he's natural, it doesn't make his physique look any better or worse, like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Wicked. Right then, excellent. Should we get into some questions then?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Sound. Right. So, Noah's op, Ian Talbot Balfe, has firstly said,
I saw this one.
Hope you have a dreadful time, Noah.
Fuck you, Ian.
Oh, I love Ian. I absolutely love him.
Actually.
So yeah, Ian wishes you had a dreadful time.
Well, 1-0, Ian, it was fantastic. But one thing that might get me into your good books, and you too as well, I have started Attack on Titan. I've started it.
Yeah, brilliant.
I'm really enjoying it. And I hate
there we go.
That. I fucking hate
there we
but
go.
I will say I'm not that far in, okay? I'm in the Battle of Troth.
What episode are you on? Okay, that's like 9, is it? Episode 9 or something?
I think so. So
yeah.
I'm not long after I've forgotten their names because I've not watched it in the last like week when I was flying. But the girl Mikasa?
Yes.
Yeah. Found out about her backstory and then found out when Eren decided to fucking come back and cook.
Stab.
Yeah, he's cooked so fucking. Then after that, they're fighting. Then the Colossal and the Armored Titan
Yes.
come back.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I'd watched up until this point before, hadn't been that interested. But I am so like, when I remember watching it before I was going to bed, just like, oh, this is fucking class. This is so cool.
Yeah, man. You need to be on like a roll with it, because it's a very bingeable show. So like watch one after the other.
Because I've not watched it in about a week and a half, it's now trying to find the time to pick it back up again.
Yeah.
Because I'm somewhat, like I mentioned, I forgot her name. I'm like a little bit more out of the loop. So I'm excited to like start it again. The battle's not finished yet. So we'll see how that goes. Again, you guys will probably be like grinning to yourself, thinking, "Oh, you get no fucking clue what's about to happen."
He hasn't got a clue.
Everyone seems sound. I still don't know what happened. Obviously, I don't know if you find out. Still, I'm quite intrigued about what happened to Erin's dad, because I know that he said he was going on a trip, or he was called somewhere, and then the building fell on the mum, and then obviously the mum got scranned for him too. So I don't know what's happened there. If he comes back in, but I'm pretty sure, was it Rose Maria that got scranned first? Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah.
Was it Rose Maria that it's called? The first layer?
The first wall, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously the first wall's been scranned. I can't remember. Oh, Qais is fucked off now.
Qais is fucked off. Qais hates
Is it still recording?
Yeah, it's still going.
Okay, so the first wall's been scranned. The inner ones, I can't remember the names. I can't remember the names of them. What are the names?
There's you fucking put me on the spot. There's like Maria. I think another one's called Rose or something. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You just say the second one, the first one.
The second one's starting to get cooked, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Yeah. I've heard of this character. Obviously, I've heard of Levi. I got to see him. He was riding the horse, coming back in, and again, I don't know anything about him, but he came in. Yeah. I've heard his name, so he's obviously a fucking big character, but yet to see what he can cook up. But so far, so good. I did get a recommendation actually, and I wanted to run it by you guys. Have you heard of an anime called Golden Kamuy?
I've heard of it. I've heard good things about it as well.
Yeah,
but I've never.
One of my clients, Derek, has said he's binged 50 episodes in 1 week. Said it was now like top 5 for him. It's like one of the best.
Really?
So if I'd never heard of it, and I still don't know what it's about, so if anyone's heard of it and watched it, give a recommendation for us, because I'd probably pick that up if I wasn't starting Attack on Titan again.
We should do that. Like, I would like to do one where like everybody recommends a show, because so far I've just bullied everybody into watching Hunter x Hunter.
You're not got me yet, to be fair. You got me with some Samurai Champloo, but not Hunter x Hunter yet.
Oh, brother, it's peak, it's shit. Yeah, no,
boys. Can you boys hear me? By the way,
now we can. I can't see you, man.
Yeah. Oh, it just randomly bugged out. Just carry on speaking.
Yeah, sick. Okay, well, I'll tell you what we can do. I can take another question if I log into the AniGains account.
Yeah.
Close scuff, man.
You've got the login, don't you? I'm already logged in. If you want me to just pull up.
Yeah, I've pulled up. Okay. We've got another one from Josh Dandy, who has asked top 3 most powerful anime verses. So I don't know if he means like where are people the strongest?
Yeah, I think that's
the best.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be like who's versing each other.
Yeah. In terms of what's like the best world, or like
I feel like we've covered something similar to that. I think for me, world building, One Piece wins, but in terms of we've got a thumbs up there. But in terms of power scaling, from what I know about Nen, I think Nen's really, really cool. Again, like I've just said, I've not watched Hunter x Hunter, but what I've heard of it is pretty cool, and everyone says it is the best. So apparently that's pretty decent. But I like Haki and I like Dragon Fruit, so me and Derek
Yeah.
on that One Piece stuff, man. What
If
about
we're
you?
talking about the most powerful though, not the best, I'd say maybe Dragon Ball.
One Punch Man as well.
Yeah, sorry, One Punch Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are the most powerful. I think in terms of like the best worlds, I think like in terms of like story, and this might be like Fairy Tale. I fucking love. Like I don't
Yeah.
know why. I think that might just be a nostalgia bias. The music as well, like the way like they use like Irish like folk music, I think is fantastic. And then Inazuma 11, I'd probably say as well.
You and that
is
fucking show.
incredible. Mate, it got me into football. Like
Yeah,
I did not give a
bang.
fuck about football. And then like when I was watching that as in fucking year 6 in my school's football team, you best believe that I was the best striker known to man, you know. And then
Yeah.
when I went to my secondary school, they didn't have a football team, so I immediately didn't care. But I would have gone pro. Would have gone pro if it wasn't for I
Would've
don't
gone
want to
pro.
dox myself.
Real man.
My boys school not having a football team.
Right, it's not letting me connect my camera, so we'll obviously do the questions and then we'll wrap it up. But I don't know what's going on with this.
Yeah, sound.
Any others we got?
Yeah, go on, guys.
Sorry. We had, so 2 more. So the first one, what anime villain was right?
In terms of what they did,
Yeah, in terms of who was justified in their actions and who had like the right views, I suppose. So if we do we class Lelouch as a villain from Code Geass?
yeah,
So maybe him. You
that's politics. To be fair, I guess you could get away.
Yeah.
with it, yeah.
did you watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? So remember Scar?
Yeah.
The Scar, the like guy with the spiky hair.
Yes. Yeah.
He was a good character, and he was like initially introduced as a villain, but he was eventually right in his actions because his people were like persecuted. So I'd say maybe him. I'm going to be controversial, like Yagami.
Light Yagami was not in the fucking right. He
Spoiler
alert.
I think to start off with, he was.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
the
like
thing
I
is-
think he got mad with power towards the end.
Yeah, the thing is, when he was at the peak of his powers, I think most of like the crime rates across the world like massively plummeted, and that was a result of Kira.
That was, and then he like murdered his own dad, and then
He didn't. No, he didn't.
Where
His dad got shot by what's his name? Mello.
oh yeah. Well, I don't think he was in the right, to be honest. I think
My just my controversial take for the day.
I've got a very controversial one.
Go on.
Eren Yeager.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. I know people. Don't go into no. Let's not spoil.
I won't. But
Oh,
like,
you've spoiled it already.
I've
No.
not.
You have.
Yeah.
You've called him out. You've called him a villain. It spoiled it.
Eren Yeager.
No, don't.
No, don't say anymore. Don't say anymore.
I won't. But all I'm saying, look, listen.
That was already a
They haven't
massive
been on
spoiler.
Twitter. Eren Yeager is.
Don't say anything.
I know he's a
Don't say
good
it.
guy. I'm saying he's a good guy.
You're full of shit.
That's the question. Is who's a good guy? Eren Yeager's a good guy. I think he's all right. He's
Right,
fun.
let's leave that one there. So let's go on to the next one then. So a great one to end it. Who is the perviest anime character?
Jiraiya from
Jiraiya Sensei. Yeah. Shall I tell you another good one?
Master
Meliodas.
Roshi.
Yeah, Master Roshi.
Fucking hate
Meliodas from
Meliodas.
7 Deadly Sins.
No, I don't like Meliodas.
Can I
don't
put,
like that.
can I put one in?
Sure.
Go on.
Sanji.
Yeah.
I think
Son.
I think the trope of Sanji being a pervert got me. It made part of the reason why I stopped watching the anime when he got to Fishman Island. Almost fucking died from a nosebleed from seeing the mermaid princess.
Yeah.
There was the one dragon fruit he wanted, devil fruit he wanted, was the invisibility one, so he could look at people. And there was one, I can't remember what arc it was, but he wanted to watch, like, see Nami as a child and like watch her grow up into a beautiful butterfly. He was saying,
That is fucking
and I
insane.
love
I don't know
One
if
Piece.
have you lot seen Mushoku Tensei?
No,
I probably know the
Job,
English name.
Jobless Reincarnation. Have you seen it?
Yes, yeah.
The guy in that, he is a massive perv.
What is
Basically, it's like an isekai, and he gets turned into like a child, like a baby, in a fantasy world. So you can imagine what he starts doing when he becomes a baby, like stealing underwear and like sniffing and
this
all
is
that
what you
sort of
guys
thing.
watch. Yeah, this is what you guys you two watch.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
actually
actually
watch this show. I watched
other
a
than the
review of the show.
it's massive on the pervy stuff, but other than that, it's actually a pretty good show.
Fucking mental.
But the thing is, I think it has to be Jiraiya because he is literally the pervy sage.
Yeah, that was my first go-to one there. So I'm gonna say Jiraiya Sensei.
Yeah,
With that,
wicked.
I think we can wrap up the episode.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
think that's a
great
good
way
place
to end the
end
show.
it.
So, in conclusion, go to Bosnia, don't do drugs, and Attack on Titan's a great show, but I've spoiled everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you all very much for joining and watching us on another fantastic episode of the AniGains podcast. Links for everything will be in the description as always. We'll wrap it there. Everybody, much love, take care, and we'll see you again soon. Ciao, ciao.
Peace.
Bye bye.